What's good, y'all? Well, welcome back to Guy Talks to his computer alone in his room. But I was out with some friends today playing pickleball, as I usually do. One of my friends, I just know this guy as a very happy-go-lucky guy, not the smartest, brightest guy in the room, but just somebody who seems like he likes everyone and just like really doesn't take offense to anything. He always got a smile on his face. And he was talking smack about one of my friends that I thought that he was close friends with, which was crazy to me because I also have been hating on this guy. Like, I can't describe it, but for the longest time, I have just really disliked this person. And they've been a core part of my friends, core part of my friend group. They said that we're beyond friends. They have this weird sense of closeness to me, and honestly this person has been in close proximity in my life for a very long time, but there's like nothing admirable about this guy. you know and of course we're all friends with him, so he does have redeeming qualities, and I say the word friend very generously because I genuinely believe that this guy hates me and that he's just tolerating me, and he's made this honestly pretty clear to me. This is the friend that I've been talking about that says that I was like such a burden in high school, and that like all her friends hate me, and that he jokes that I didn't have enough social credit and therefore I'm just like a bad person and people are gonna forever see me as a bad person. And I said all these terrible things and made his life so difficult. And yeah, it honestly like sucked the first time that I ever heard that, to just be like, oh wow, it's just the super villain in this guy's life. And then I was like, hold on, this guy didn't say any of this about me. And there was this situation, I already described it on this channel, where I had a friend, person who I would consider a friend, even though I wasn't particularly fond of him, who just got some crazy allegations on him, and none of them were set in stone. School did an investigation, they also didn't find anything, and I just wanted to give that person the benefit of the doubt because we ostracized that person without any evidence, which I just didn't think was fair at the time. And some of it had to do with the fact that this person was from a minority which isn't looked upon fondly. Another part of it is this person was particularly ugly. A third part of it is this person had hobbies which a lot of people would look down upon and frown upon, and this person had no shame about it. And which all completely fair points for like bullying people and ostracizing them. But to start making up claims and then ostracizing them for those made up claims, like there is a running bit that I have where I will get angry at the manufactured versions of people in my head, but to actually act on it and to have this widespread hysteria to act on that felt a little bit crazy to me. And the other part of this is I started getting flack for just giving somebody the benefit of the doubt. And to this day, I had friends that have never apologized for cutting me off as their friend for what I thought was just honestly an incredibly base take. And like they argue that in hindsight, I was still wrong, which is crazy to me. And honestly, these friends have like never truly recovered in my books. And I still think very highly of one of them. I think they have a great judge of character. They're a great friend. They always there for me when I needed them, except for the time they cut me off. And that's someone who I thought is really close to me. But if I'm being like entirely honest with myself, like that hurt me deeply, and I chose to forgive. And these people are still in my life. One of the really bad friend that I mentioned, was recently like bought me dinner in celebration of his first internship. And this is the same friend that the happy-go-lucky friend was talking poorly of, because he's the same person who will complain about not spending time with his friends or not being invited out to outings, and then he won't show up. We'll invite him to things, and if he doesn't like the thing that we're going to, he won't show up. Which doesn't sound that crazy, but then he'll complain about it. Okay? Here's the thing that we want to do. Here's the common interest that we have. The majority of the people have this interest, and then he won't show up. Which, completely fair. But then when he complains about it, we're like, here's this thing that we're interested in. How about you suggest something? And then he doesn't invite us out. Like, you need to take action. You need to take responsibility. You can't just be like, oh, I have these problems with all these things, and then just not provide a remedy or a solution. And another thing that he does is actually sometimes we get him to come out. He said for a very long time that he's just been sucking it up. He's been doing things that he doesn't want to do. and just to make us happy. Sure, whatever you say. And then he comes out to the thing that we were enjoying, the pickleball, and he was like, "Wow, that was really fun." When I like got in this state, when I got in this mode, when I was doing well, it's like, "Wow, that's crazy." When you do well at something, it's more enjoyable. Maybe you should come out and practice and train more, and it'll become more enjoyable. Because we found this thing that a lot of people found interesting, and honestly, it really sucked the first time that we went. But you had to keep doing it, and you kept improving, and we liked the improvement, even though we weren't particularly good at the sport, and it was very frustrating. And then we got better, and it got more enjoyable, which just isn't a particularly crazy thing. So, looking now at the history, I had a girlfriend previously, and I know, crazy stuff. And I really value like being in the moment with people, like being present. So I have my phone turned off like majority of the time, like no notifications. And I'm also somebody who deliberately plans things. Despite my ethnicity, I do actually plan in advance, and I use my calendar very diligently. And I've made it express to people like, at least give me like a day in advance, right? Just notice. That's a general thing that I've done. And this person showed up to my house, middle of the night, 9 p.m., 3 separate occasions, and then got mad at me that I didn't pick up the phone or pick up my text when I was just spending time with my girlfriend, which I had already obligated myself to, and I had no clue that he was coming over. And he actually did this 3 separate times, and then I apologized each time for not like knowing. And it wasn't like every single week he came by or like consequent days. Like, no, this was like over the course of months that he showed to my home, and then got angry at me over it, which I just think is so crazy. On top of all the other friend lore that we have, uh, and then spending time with your friends comes around during spring break, winter break, summer, like the time that you have to spend with your friends. And context on me, this is my last summer. This is my last summer in college. I am graduating next year, and which means I don't get another summer. I have to work. So I'm trying to spend as much time with my friends like before I have like a proper job, and I'm trying to like invest in like my personal hobbies, invest in myself, all that good stuff. During this break, let's go back to spring break. My spring break is off a year, not off a year, off a week from these other people. So I have midterms. I make it clear that I just punched my microphone. That I am willing to basically BS my midterms. I already like this is the most recent semester. This semester went very poorly for me. It was D's and C's across the board in 1A. And I said I'm willing to like not do particularly well on my midterm so I can spend time with my friends, but you guys need to communicate with me because I need to be able to plan to go back because it's a day trip. It's a drive to get back to like my hometown, spend time with my friends that are in spring break. Like I said, I'm gonna take the brunt of the load, make this significantly more difficult for myself in order to spend time with people. And I'm like, that's something that I took on my own. You don't particularly have to respect it, but it gets to the end of their spring break, and they're deciding a last minute outing, and this guy who has like almost never suggested to go out says, and also has historically always decided not to come out with us when we want to go out, and we like always invite him to go out because he always gets all pissy if we don't. Says, okay, let's go out, and he does it like the day of, and then he gets pissed at me that I'm not home a minimum 1 hour drive away to meet up in an hour because I have midterms that I already communicated about, and I said let's plan the week before. I completely communicated the week before to say let's plan in advance. I got donut walled in the door, and they just joked and said, oh, we might not even meet up. And then they've been hanging out all week, and when they do, and they've been planning all of it last minute, and then they do one last culminative last minute hangout, and then get mad at me that I wasn't there and available because I was at school doing my midterms. And the other people actually were incredibly understanding about it, except for the one person who was orchestrating the hangout. The guy who always flakes on us. It was so crazy to me. I'm just like, how do you have no self-awareness and then just always flake on us? And other references, we had been bullying this guy like since we were like in middle school. I got a lot of history with this guy. And the reason that we were bullying him was because he doesn't follow through. I was on a soccer team with him, and then on this soccer team, we weren't particularly good. But, he gave up on the soccer team. Eventually, I played soccer with like other people. Like that's fine. And the other thing that he would do is he was a good gamer. He tried to go pro. He did okay, but there's these other things like having a good physical body and working out and all these other like, I'd say, conventional attractive things that, or conventionally valuable things that he would rave about. And then he wouldn't do anything about it. He'd be like, "Oh, I'm so small," and then he'd eat like 3 ramen for dinner, three Maruchan ramen noodle packs. It was like, "Oh, I'm so weak," and then he just wouldn't work out. And he's like, I like this girl or whatever, and then he wouldn't make any moves. Like, completely common and normal problem. But when you're always complaining about something and then not following up or doing anything to change it, man, you just want pity. You want sympathy. And then you get mad. He's like, "Oh, no, I don't want pity. I don't want sympathy." I'm like, What do you want? I'm so tired of hearing this from you. Like, I just don't care." Like, this shouldn't be like that crazy. Like, it's, either just be a wimp and admit that you're a wimp and just take the hits as they come, because, well, you're going to. I'm not saying that it's right, but man, like, I got bullied for like being too smart. Like, we've gotten bullied for all sorts of things. I was, respectfully, I was a very like decent athlete growing up, and I still got bullied for being uncoordinated in sports that like I'd never put any minutes in. I got bullied for being good for all, like, I still made the teams, and I still got bullied for sucking at the sport that like I played the most. And I still get bullied for it to this day because I never put in enough effort to get really good at it. But I've spent a lot of time playing the sport, and I'm surprisingly bad at it for the amount of time that I spent into it. And I don't think I'm ugly, but I'm definitely not the most attractive. But I do have like a conventionally like not fat, like appeasable body. Let's just say that. And I still get bullied for like for being ugly or like small or whatever. Like, this is just a rite of passage. And this guy, and I put effort towards my body and like eating well and working out and stuff. And I still don't complain about just getting roasted and cooked by my friends. But this guy who puts no effort in and complains anyway and expects sympathy, like, no, bro, like, I'm sad for you if like you just, got poor genetics out of the package. Which honestly, like, seeing, bro, you think that he's anorexic or something. Like, it's crazy. But to still complain about that when not putting any effort in, that sucks. And now he's finally putting effort into the gym. He got a girl that he's interested in, and he wants to ask her out. And he's got an internship, and he's got a great paying job, and he's honestly just doing fantastic. And he is still complaining about his friends not gaming with him when he's several ranks above us, and is super unavailable because he's working all the time and away from his setup. And also complaining that we don't want to hang out with him. And I find out from this friend that even when they do go on a day trip, this guy's still complaining about his car. And that he didn't want to spend that much time with his friends that like wanted to put all the effort in to make the trip out and spend the money, which they don't have as much of, and also spend their time. So as far as bad friend emporium goes, this is my example of a bad friend. Just pet peeves, no follow through, and when he's finally up and doing well, it's just never good enough, and he just makes the rest of us feel like crap. He's honestly not been super supportive, a great friend to me, and I don't even want to consider him a friend of mine. He's a quote unquote a friend by association. That would make him an acquaintance. He would be a friend of a friend, and this guy just badmouths me like crazy. I remember there was this person that I wasn't particularly fond of, and let me say that you can think negatively of someone and also still not mind being around them, okay? And this person is a friend of like my sister, and this guy, I think I just got really pissed at him because his family is incredibly wealthy, and I felt like he was wasting it. The other thing that he would do is just bug everyone around him for support in his classes instead of just putting in the work himself. Like, it was just so lazy. I'm like, how are you gonna trash on me for being a nerd and such a not knowing things about the cars, like the niche interest that you have, and then ask me for like physics help or math help, and then expect me to tutor you like right before the test, and you're taking up my lunchtime every single time between my friends. I'm so sorry to bother you, and then you just don't change anything about it. I think that was the main thing that pissed me off. When people just knew something was wrong and they did it anyway, or when they apologized by something and then never try to be better, I'm like, that really pissed me off. But the main thing was he would just inconvenience everyone around him for his own benefit and never offered anything in return. And people were like, oh, it's not transactional. Like, you're just there to support friends. I'm like, I did support friends. And I still got trashed on for it. These are the same people that, like, judged me behind closed doors and then said that I was a terrible person and, like, it was so bad to be friends or, like, being stuck in the same friend group with me and, like, wanted to ostracize me. But I had too much social credit in my sports and my grades where they couldn't say that I was a bad person or a stupid person or a fat person or out of shape person. Like, they had nothing to do besides just call me racist or radical or, like, a sexual predator because of things that were completely unrelated to me. Now, I did say some crazy things that were low-key racist, but the other things weren't true. Like, the sexual predator thing came from just saying, give the person the benefit of the doubt, and this person never got, like, convicted for being a sexual predator. And I actually just didn't do any of those things myself and had no indications of being a predator, but I still got called one anyway, which was just so crazy to me. And honestly, it happened again for, like, a very understandable reason. It's an explicit story. I probably shouldn't get into it. It's not friendly for online viewers. But yeah, all I said is I'm like, this guy pisses me off because he inconveniences everyone else around him. And the second thing was just a personal pet peeve of mine. He speaks like he needs to be heard. And he's not particularly intelligent. His grades continue to reflect that, so I honestly have no shame in saying that. And this guy just doesn't seem to, like, bring anything valuable to the table. Like, all he does is just speak very loudly and then repeat whatever jokes or rot is, like, on his phone. And then you're out with him and he's just on his phone. This is another pet peeve of mine. The same thing with the guy who complains about, like, not being invited to hangouts. Will go out and just be on his phone, and now he's just texting his girl. He's one of those homies. And both of these people, like, I'm out and spending time with friends and trying to have, like, quality time and quality moments, and you're just on your phone. Like, that's so lame. There's just no other way that I can slice that. And that's just a personal thing for me about respecting people's time. But I'm like, if you don't want a conversation, if you just want to be on your phone, go home. Your proximity has no value to me. I'm like, I enjoy sharing moments with friends. I enjoy playing sports. I enjoy going out and enjoying views. Like, life is better with friends. And the proximity is valuable when you're doing the activity together. And these people, I just don't think highly of them. But anyways, I said this to this friend in confidence when I thought that we were really close friends, and this person says it to that person, but completely rephrases it to, this guy hates you, which is just a mischaracterization of me. And the other thing was, I explicitly said, don't tell him this, because I don't actually plan to do anything about it, because that's his character, and I have friends of friends, and I don't wish to stir up conflict with this person. But that guy was trashing on that person too, so I thought it was a safe space to say it. But no, he just told me that I didn't like him, and then he didn't trash on him to his face. I'm like, great, so now I'm just the villain. I shouldn't have said this at all with you. I should just stop hating on people. And this is, I guess, the takeaway of the story is, like, don't speak negatively of people behind their backs, because then it just gets out of your control. It was out of my control to begin with. People are always going to interpret your words a certain way. I have a great story about that, but this is just, like, bad friend, like, top of the bad friend ranking, the tier list. And I made a video about it recently, but the bullying is there. Let's say the bullying. Let's call it bullying. For societal alignment. And we were worried about this guy for the longest time because he did the game and the game didn't work out, and then he had no drive for anything. And same thing with the other guy that I said spoke loudly. Like, it wasn't just bullying because you inconvenienced all the people around you. It was bullying because we were worried that you wouldn't put any work into anything. Like, how do you expect to do well if you, like, are BSing all your classes? How do you expect to do well once you actually have to learn something? Like, we worry for you, but you don't express worry that way as a guy. You just bully the people. Like, you just say you're stupid. That's how it is. And I don't think it's right, but that's how you learn to operate, because that's just the status quo. And now to the modern day, I'm still not friends with this guy. Still not friends with either of these guys. And they're so deeply embedded in the friend groups that I'm in. I've permanently lost, like, I guess my respect. I guess my trust in my friends. Because time and time again, I've been villainized for my character. I've been let down for having principles. I want to express myself in the way that I want to express myself, and if you provide me with hate on some people, I thought that I'd be able to reciprocate, and that's just not the case. And I can't talk trash to people's face. I can't talk trash behind people's backs, and I feel like everyone else is able to get away with it but me. And that's such pick me behavior, right? I'm like, that's just realistically not how it goes. But I don't know what it's unique about my disposition or my stature, but I feel like the consequences of my actions hit me particularly hard. And when I try to match the characters of people around me and match the vibe and reciprocate, I am uniquely put out of position. And that's not a great feeling to have. And I had this with a separate group of friends. Video's getting a little long, so it's a story for another time. But when I think of bad friends, or friends that are bad for me, I should say, they're not bad people, I think of this. And if you want your sign that what you provide for people and what they may provide for you may not align, this is what it starts to sound like, where your values and your principles are not reflected in the people around you, nor are you proud to call them your people. And that's where I stand. So, yeah, that's about it. A little bit of a crash out, a little bit of tangent, but I just recently just got brought to my attention because I thought I was crazy and I was the only person who was not particularly fond of this behavior, but they've been getting more flack for it recently, and I'm not particularly sure why. Maybe because the flag finally got released off me, but I'm finally back around in hometown with all my hometown friends, and I've been having some great times. But you know, there's some people that make it a little more interesting. I'll just say it like that. But yeah, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed.